Right now, while all eyes are focused on the holdover movies from 2021 that are in the running for this year's Oscars, the Hollywood industrial complex hasn't shut down completely. Even this usually slow early months of the 2022, there has still been a handful of new releases. So here in this video, we will discuss about the top 10 movies in 2022. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. Number 10. Resurrection. Debuting at Sundance and hitting theaters and streaming later in 2022, Resurrection is a white-knuckle psychological horror film in which star Rebecca Hall delivers one of the year's first great performances. Hall portrays Margaret, a businesswoman and single parent who seems in total control of her life until a mysterious man from her past resurfaces and sends her spiraling into all-consuming panic. What is it that makes her merry presence so terrifying? We're absolutely not telling. You need to see this one for yourself. Rebecca Hall and Tim Roth sell the film's bizarre and disgusting twist with such conviction that they can stick with you long after you have finished watching. Number 9. Scream. In 1996, director Wes Craven and screenwriter Kevin Williamson ushered in a new era of the horror movie with Scream, in which a group of teens are hunted by a mysterious killer who's obsessed with slasher movies. Just Eat Scream sequel has commented on the nature of horror sequels and the changing landscape of the horror cinema. This fifth entry tackles the contemporary trend of the requel, in which legacy characters pass the torch to a new generation. But as always, Scream isn't just about dorky inside jokes for cinephiles. It's like a thrilling horror whodunit in its own right, with scares and chuckles in equal measure. Scream can be enjoyed as either a jumping on point or satisfying conclusion to one of the horror's most consistent franchises. Number 8. Kimi. Kimi is a thriller that's extremely of the current moment. Zoya Kravitz plays Angela, a programmer whose job is manually review garbled or misunderstood communications between an Alexa-style electronic assistant called Kimi and its users. When she stumbles across an audio recording of a heinous crime, Angela must try to get the evidence into the right hands without tipping off its perpetrators. But there's an added complication. It's the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, and Angela is severely agoraphobic. Kimi utilizes the unique stresses of the present day, from the anxiety of being constantly surveilled to the social and economic turmoil inflamed by the pandemic, to create a short, sweet hour and a half of the intrigue and action. Number 7. Jackass Forever. Look, you're either a fan of the sadistic cinema of Johnny Knoxville and his band of merry pranksters, or you're not. There's really daylight in between the two poles. But if you are willing to submit to sheer dumbass joy of their nut-cracking pranks and daredevil stunts, you may find yourself discovering something else along the way. A bunch of aging evil Knievels who underneath their dim bulb machismo actually care about one another deeply. Their on-screen camaraderie is as undeniable as it is infectious and, yes, even kinda touching. If you've seen any of the previous Jackass outings, then you know what you are in for. But after 2 years of the soul-grinding political and pandemic-related heaviosity, watching these Jackass exploits feel like a healing balm of idiocy. Number 6. Good luck to you, Leo Grande. The COVID-19 era has produced a number of locked-room feature films, produced with a minimal cast in an isolated location to reduce the risks and costs of working during a pandemic. Good Luck to You, Leo Grande stands out among this accidental genre, essentially a two-person playset among entirely in London hotel room. Here, Emma Thompson plays a retired ethics teacher who hires a young sex worker to help her rebound from the decades of unfulfilling sex with her late husband. It's transparently a polemic in support of legalized sex work, but the heady conversation never weighs down this charming dialogue-driven comedy. Number 5. Emily the Criminal. Emily the Criminal is a crime thriller born of the present moment, as a generation weighed down by debt and denied full-time employment struggles to make ends meet in the gig economy. Aubrey Plaza starts as Emily, who juggles various manual jobs with combined wages that can't make a dent in her student loans. When presented with the opportunity to make a lot of money fast, Emily becomes a dummy shopper, mixing out cloned credit cards and reselling the purchases on the black market. The story of a hard luck outlaw getting into too deep is nothing new, but Emily the Criminal has such a modern edge that it can't be denied. Number 4. Emergency. Mix one part college buddy movie with one part thriller and stir in a shot of social commentary to give it some bite, and you got Emergency. Appear a college senior playing to be the first black students to complete a legendary bar crawl on their campus. But their plans are interrupted when they find an unconscious white girl sick with alcohol poisoning in their living room. Certain that calling the authorities will only get them arrested or worse, they embark on an increasingly complicated quest. To drive her to the hospital themselves, a spoonful of stoner comedy helps the medicine go down, as Emergency highlights the way systematic racism increases the danger and difficulty of life for Black Americans. Number 3. Ballet. Originally released in Japan and on the festival circuit in 2021, the critically acclaimed anime musical Ballet finally arrived in US theaters in January 2022. It's nominally an adaptation of the classic fairy tale Beauty and the Beast for the social media age. But Ballet brings far more to the table than just the familiar beats of its source material. Ballet is part timeless and part bleeding edge contemporary, as exemplified by its two distinct but equally beautiful art styles. Painterly traditional animation to represent the real world and eye-popping cel-shaded CGI to represent the virtual reality of the internet. Number 2. After Yang. You heard the term elevated horror. Now get acquainted with its close cousin, quite sci-fi. After Yang is a character drama centered around a father who suffers an unusual loss when Yang, a lifelike android programmed to connect his adopted daughter to her Chinese heritage, suddenly shuts down. While he seeks out a way to repair him, he and his family are forced to ponder Yang's place in their lives and explore Yang's own inner life that he chose to conceal from them. Don't be misled by the PG rating. After Yang is a tender, patient, and elegant film for grown-ups that ruminates on themes of memory, intimacy, and identity. Number 1. The Worst Person in the World. The Worst Person in the World has been called an anti-romantic comedy, the story of one young woman's journey in and out of love as she tries to figure out what she wants from her life. Led by a rich and captivating performance by Renate Reinsve, Worst Person is a refreshingly honest and non-judgmental look at the millennial condition. It has been honored with an Academy Award nomination for Best International Film. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.